To everybody. Today we are going to see an important topic on what is the yogic significance of various gods in our temples and in our way of worship. Though as per Bhagavad Gita and Upanishads, all our Vedantic scriptures say Paramatma is one. Whereas similarly in all religions, the creator, what is called Kartar in Christianity, Allah in Islamic, like that Azra Muzda in Dharatastra. These various religious philosophies, everywhere it is said only Creator is one. But when Creator is one, why we are showing so many gods in our way of worship? Why our ancient yogis, why they are depicted these various gods in our way of worship? Because if you see, Paramatma is creator is only one, but his manifestations is called God. What is God? Generation, operation, destruction. So, why man has taken birth? What is that he is doing during this lifetime? And what is after life, what is happening to him? Why each person, one is rich, one is poor, one is middle class, one is facing a lot of problems, one is facing happy life. Why there is a difference in when Atma is one and body is one, created by God, but everybody should have the same kind of situation, same kind of happiness, same kind of, but why it is differing? A man may be rich, but he don't have any peace. A man may be poor, but he have peace. So it varies from person to person. Why this difference is mainly because of the karmic factors. So according to one's karma, that is whatever past actions he has done, he has released the karma. That is the basic principles of karma theory. That is the basic principles behind our very purpose of birth. So in which family one takes birth is mainly depends on the type of karma he has accumulated before the birth. So in the God, the generation activity is undertaken by the Lord Brahma. Brahma what does is, he takes the Atma to a particular family. He decides which family it has to go. He decides in such a way that whatever the accumulated karmas are there for the particular Atma, in this particular family if you take birth, you will have an opportunity in this whole life to release this karma. So according to the type of karmas, a person's life, the Atma's place of birth, the family of birth, the type of relationship it will have, all these things it has been decided, and Brahma takes the step in bringing the Atma to a particular family in the womb of a particular mother. That is done by generation. So once a child is born, then what is the first stage is it has to gain education. That's why after Brahma, he has to link with Saraswati, who is the giver of knowledge, education. So only when the education is there, that's why in our family, in our life we have 4 parvas. That is Brahmacharya, Grihastha Ashrama, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. So in Brahmacharya period we learn, we get educated. Only when you get educated, you get employment. So based on the education, one get employment. So during this period, the Saraswati Kataksham should be there. So that is given by Saraswati, that is education. So once education comes, what is that operation? See, until a person will be under the child up to his until the 20 Brahmacharya is completed. Until that period, he is under the umbrella of parents. So during this period, the Saraswati is taking care and giving the education. Once he completes the education and entered that is take employment and is now ready to take enter the Grihastha Ashrama. At that stage operation, he becomes independent family man, samsaric life, where the operation activity starts for him. That is, operation is undertaken by Vishnu. So Vishnu takes care of our life from birth to death. So how these karmas can be released is he supports for each Atma to release the karmas of the past. And for running the family, what is needed is wealth. That is given by Lakshmi. So the Lakshmi, what is this? When you have the Lakshmi Kataksham, you have the prosperity in your life, happiness in your life. So Lakshmi is supported supporting the Vishnu, because for running the life, Vishnu takes care of running the life of a person from birth to death. For this you need money. Money is given by Lakshmi. That's why the yogis have fixed Lakshmi with Vishnu, Brahma with Saraswati, and third is Shiva. So, and Shiva means what? God, generation, operation, destruction. He destroys what? Ego. So, once ego is destroyed, once the ignorance is destroyed, man realizes the very purpose of his birth. Until that, he will be carried away by the maya of the external world, and will be attracted by lust, anger, jealousy, hatredness, cunning, crooked, all kinds of negative things he accumulates in him. That is the demonic nature in him. Lord Shiva destroys the demonic nature in man, and that when the demonic nature is removed, the accumulation of new karmas can be avoided. So that is undertaken by Lord Shiva. But Shiva, before the Shiva has been given the sub-manifestations by Ganesha. Ganesha is the god of removal of ego and pridiness, and give Atma Bhuj to us. That's why he has been given the elephant. The elephant, the trunk, when you go and pray to him and give the that is what you call before Ganesha, we go and surrender to him and say to him all our problems. That's why he has a big eyes, big ears. So with the trunk he gives the Atma Bhuj here and remove the pride here. So that's why God Ganesha has been given the elephant face. He takes all the negative things inside us. That's why he has a big belly. So in every year, the entire people's all the kinds of distress, everything he hears them. That's why he gives Atma Bhuj. After hearing everybody, that's why he's having a big ears. So he hears all people's problems, all people's tensions, everything. People go and pour before him all their problems. He hears them, and he takes inside him. That's why his belly is shown big. And with his trunk, he gives them Atma Bhuj, removes their pride and everything. So that's why Ganesha is very important god, the primary god for us. So then Shiva is supported by Armugam. Shiva has created this six phases god. That six phases is nothing but our six senses. So Armugam takes care of the control the evil nature in our six senses. He removes the evil nature in our six senses. Whatever things you see, whatever things you hear, whatever things you smell, whatever things you feel, whatever things you speak, all these things, whatever things you introspect, all the six senses, he sees that negativity is removed and he thinks only positively. So that way removal of evil is by Armugam. And third is Ayyappa. Ayyappa is the god of celibacy, purity of thought, purity of mind, purity of body. Everything he bestows and removes the concept of lust and all the negative ganas. And Shakti is the Kundalini Shakti. When all this negativity is removed, the Kundalini Shakti awakens. When it awakens, it takes to Sahasrara Chakra. From Muladhara Chakra, Kundalini Shakti awakens. For awakening, the removal of block is taken by Ganesha, Ayyappa, Muruga. So then the Kundalini Shakti comes to the Sahasrara Chakra where Shiva lies. So Shiva removes all the ignorance and makes the man to remain equanimous under all circumstances, and by which one can release their karma without accumulation of new karmas. Thus, once release all the karmas at the end of the life, when all the karmas are released, one can attain Jivan Mukti. That is the very objective of our, very purpose of our birth. And these truth has been told by yogis by depiction of Brahmaloka, Vishnuloka, Sivaloka, with Brahma, Saraswati and Brahmaloka taking care of birth and education, operation by Vishnu and supported by Lakshmi, the wealth god, and Shiva, who is the remover of negativity. So removal of negativity by Ganesha, the pride and ego is removed by him, and the evil nature in the six stars is removed by Armuga, and Ayyappa gives celibacy and purity of mind and thought, and Shiva Shakti, Kundalini Shakti awakens. So this is and one of the important aspects is that you need, whenever you get dejected, you need a lot of self-confidence to develop. So Anjaneya is depicted who doesn't know his own power, only by chant of Ram, that is God's name, that he gives the powers of power and reaches the sky. So self-confidence God is Anjaneya. So like this, main gods have been given in our structure, in our temples. This is the Paramatma is one, but to reach Paramatma, these gunas, negative gunas have to be removed, positive gunas have to be taken, has to be accumulated, and we have to work all through our life in the samsaric life, releasing our karmas. When all these karmas are released by remaining ignorance and all circumstances, then we attain the Paramatma. And this is depicted in our temples. You see Tapakalam in a temple entrance. This is where you go and dip in water to purify your body. Then come to Gopuram, where you stand. In the Gopuram is the pyramid structure. There, when you go and stand, Mala Kalasam is there. So this negative energy from your mind is removed here at the pyramid structure. Then you go to Ganesha. There you pray for removal of pride and give Atma Puja. Go to Muruga. There you pray, circulating, going on pradakshina and pray for removal of all evil from you and protect from all evil from outside. And go to Ayyappa for celibacy and purity of mind. Then Anjaneya for self-confidence. Vishnu and Lakshmi for taking care of our life successfully with the needed support for carry on the life. And then come to the Shiva Shakti, the Kundalini Shakti can awaken. Then Lord Shiva gives us the abundant knowledge for self-realization to attain the mukti. And Navagrahas is since our body is an energy body, the various energy forces of all the planetary forces has got an impact on our energy body. So to overcome it, by praying to Navagrahas, they give the negative effect, to remove the negative effect of the grahas and give positive energy is being given by the Navagrahas. So this is our temple structure, mainly intended. So one who go and worship there, each and every place, one removes all the negativity and imbibe positivity. So this is the yogic center. Temples are yogic center, where one gains the yogic power in them, the manifestation of God, all the positive divine qualities, removing all negativity and improving positivity, all divine qualities, so that you can reach Paramatma by releasing all your karmas. That is being depicted here. So this Brahmaloka, Vishnuluka and Shivaloka, these three lokas, three gods are there, and their associated gods are there. So this is depicted in our Atmalingeshwara temple, where Paramatma is Atmalingeshwara, and Brahmaloka, Vishnuluka, Shivaloka will be there, with Brahma, Saraswati, and Vishnu, Lakshmi and Anjaneya, and Shiva, Shakti, Ganesha, Muruga and Ayyappa with Navagrahas. This is being brought here to depict this yogic significance of temples in this temple, where 2500 years old Atmalingeshwara is being installed, where the powerful energy, positive energy from this temple is meant mainly for the peace of the world. Here we do meditations regularly, and regular Nityanadana is being carried on, is mainly to ensure that when there is a positive energy, by removing the what you call hunger, we generate positive energy. So every day positive energy is generated in the temples. Many people who come there, even now, though the construction is going on, people come there and worship regularly, and they are healed of all the diseases and all. So I request people to come and extend their valuable support for giving shape to this Atmalingeshwara temple, so that it is meant for generating positive energy for world peace. So please do participate and give the necessary support for bringing this Atmalingeshwara temple with the Triloka Sangama, that is Brahmaloka, Vishnuluka and Shivaloka. This is the first time, because in my Samadhi Dhyan, it says the in Bulokam, the Triloka Sangamam has to come for bringing the Vishwashanti. So this is mainly meant for Vishwashanti. In this Vishwashanti, this step that is being taken through the construction of Atmalingeshwara temple, I request everyone to participate and contribute even a single stone or a bag of cement as sand, whatever limited, because a small drop of water makes an ocean. When we all join together, we can build a temple. Not only a temple, we can build a beautiful world, we can build a peaceful world. And this is the first step in building the bringing the real peace to the humanity and peace in the world, in which I request everyone to participate by contributing whatever limited amount by way of buying a bag of cement or gravel or whatever things one can contribute for this noble cause, and let us all join together, bring shape for this Vishwa Shanti temple. Thank you.